In doing this school, there was a point where I was living here in my office because I couldn't afford rent. I started my own business, the Total Medical Alliance and Cardiff Meds. When I started Cardiff Meds, I basically knew that the business would become great, but we didn't have a fair, so I had to use the Total Medical Alliance as my little security. The Total Medical Alliance was like an agency that would employ nurses and doctors for doctors' offices where the nurse going off on leave or the doctor has to go to a graduation. So I was able now to take out this place on a lease to buy. I didn't even know that existed, but God bless Dennis Strong at the time, who was the owner of the building. And so I got here for a very nice price. During the period of my opening business, etc., I got married, had 2 children. Ethan was born, and it turns out that Ethan was autistic. But I was not concerned because somewhere in my life I decided, instead of doing a master's in business, I, Natasha Russell, have to go do a master's in clinical psychology, and everybody was like, why? Where that come from? But God knows. He was at a very prominent prep school, and oh my God, I started hiding from the teacher. Every evening she had a complaint about Ethan, and their fix for him was to send him to the behavioral therapist. COVID happened and I was able to watch the teacher teach Ethan. The teacher told me that Ethan not interested in learning, and when I tried suggesting to her how to teach Ethan, she was not listening because she was a trained teacher for 20 years. So I basically lost it when she told me that Ethan could not read. No, Ethan was not reading the recommended ministry book, because when we read Come Pam Come, Come Tim Come, he wanted to know, why should Pam come? Why is Pam coming? And so I started giving him other books to read. So Ethan was ahead in his reading, and so to prove a point, I sent a picture of Ethan reading independently at 4 years old and in the parent group, and I also informed them that even if school resumed, because by now COVID school lockdown, even if school resumed, I was going to be homeschooling Ethan. During like the April-May, I was in my head just dreaming, this is of 2020, of a school that would cater to the needs of children like Ethan. And so I would write in the night the vision of the school. The mascot of the school would be an eagle, because these are gifted children who would soar, etc. And then basically the business plan for the school was ready, and I tried passing it to my friend who was in Texas, and he was like, no, I'm not coming back to Jamaica. So I had an idea of how the school for Ethan would look, and children like Ethan. In August of 2020, August 17, a parent from the class that Ethan was in, she called my phone to say, what are you doing with Ethan? Because it looks like school not opening in September, and I don't know what to do with my daughter. And as far as I can see, Ethan is the only child that can read. Again, the video that was sent. Now, with my soft heart, of course I'm going to help this lady. So I told her I was going to homeschool Ethan. Now, I very well could not take her child to my home. So my office now became the room to school the young lady and Ethan this September. Then she brought another friend, and September of 2020, we ended up with Ethan and 3 other children. we had school. Now I had worked at Navisville Prep before, Michael Alpha, so I was not new to teaching. I had taught at ACRM, UTech, so I'm a natural teacher. So with my friends help overseas who would stay up and set the lesson plan for the entire week, I was able to have school. Now remember, now school starts September. By the October, one of the parents asked me, what is the plan? Because I don't think I want to take back my child to that prominent prep school. Then the December, yes, we had prize giving and the Christmas recital for children. The grandparent of one of the little girls said, I could not imagine we would have a full program with 4 children that lasted for 2 hours. But yes, that happened. So they asked me to go to the ministry because they did not want to move the children. And so that was how 8, Earnest Institute for the Gifted, Hyperactive and Talented started. 8 is an acronym, but spiritually it means new beginning, and that is what we are for a lot of students. We have also had situations where children are not performing, especially in reading and comprehension, where they're not performing as they should. They will pull them, send them to us for even 2 semesters, 2 terms, and then put them back into their school. And there they are the top student when we still not finish with them and still not think they're ready. But the program, we have had great success. I am happy to announce that that little girl that I mentioned did her PEP 4 and got highly proficient in math and English. We had one of the 4, she was grade 5 PEP, she got her highly proficient in English language and proficient in math. So the program works. Part of a child learning is getting them comfortable, rebuilding their self-esteem and understanding that they need a behavioral plan and they need an educational plan. We also use software to pick up on the learning gaps. And so basically that's the miracle of 8. But how do we fund 8? So sometimes we hate the school because I started 8 as a wealthy woman driving a Benz. I had to lose that just to pay teachers. My children had 3 insurance policies. I went to NCB, I went to Sagicor, and I went to Scotia. Empty out the insurance just to pay salaries. It's been hard. We recently had the Chinese embassy coming on board, and they were the first ray of hope, apart from friends who will contribute like a $40,000 to say, put this towards a child whose school fees is not being paid. So on paper, we're a private school. I don't even know if I want to make this public. My board is frustrated with me because at every school, if you're not paying your school fee, you go home. Well, down to this September, we have a child who has not paid a cent. But the child is autistic, non-verbal. How do you send away that child? I don't know how to do that. My heart is too much in the school, which makes me not a very good business person. And so I just think the school is more a school of passion and purpose. And so you might ask, what happened to Cardiff Meds? Yes, Cardiff Meds was used to fund the school. Until if you keep taking out the capital to pump into something that is not bringing in anything, along with the fact that we basically after COVID, the company, we lost one of our biggest supplier. So that basically went low, and my children and I have seen our lifestyle dip significantly. But I don't know, I think I would do it over. Long story short, in doing this school, there was a point where I was living here in my office because I couldn't afford rent. parents don't know, or some the early ones would know, just to make ends meet, because light have to pay, water have to pay, staff have to pay. And so it is a work of passion, a labor of love. But at the end of the day, when I see the highly proficient in the exam, when I see how the children have come out of their shell, how confident they are, then it makes it all worth it. We have NERA, the Natasha Russell Upliftment Foundation, where we give care packages to the homeless and just the indigent in the downtown community. I'm going to make an appeal here that from your pantry to their home, as Christmas is coming in celebration of life, I'm going to ask you if you could just reach into your pantry, the way to the back where you have the sardine, the mackerel, the corned beef, because we're going to buy cake and you're not going to have the space. Please, if you could donate it, so that while we are having our cake and ham, these people can even have some corned beef and rice. So go through your closet, especially for the men. Them always need clothes. I remember one Christmas Eve, this gentleman came. We basically were locked and he was just saying, I need a change of clothes because this is smelling and I don't want Christmas to come and catch me like this and I don't have no clothes. I was able to go into the barrel where a nice person had donated. To donate for the school or the charity, you can drop off your donation at 143 Upper King Street. The school's number is 968-5584 or 876-771-4352. We have a website which is 8institute.com. That's also our social media handle. And what makes the Children of 8 special is because we care that they learn differently.